Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. What's going down, brother?
Yeah, I'm very well.
Caught you mid-sip of water there. Had a great conversation. We got guys that don't know it. We have an alpha reset going on. As the pandemic starts to lift, we have an alpha reset scheduled for the end of June. Tim and I were talking logistics. Have a waiting list for that event. It's going to be fantastic to put these men through it. So I'm very excited about that, Tim.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be incredible. And Tulum as well. We've got a waiting list for that.
Yeah. Tulum is going to be amazing. It's a brotherhood only event. So that's also going to be just awesome. That was supposed to happen last year during the pandemic. We had to cancel it because you couldn't get anywhere in the world right at that time. So this is going to be fun to put on. But Tim, that's not what we're here to talk about today. So what I want to talk about is we got a call that came in, and I know you were part of that call that came in, and a man was talking about something was going on with his wife. Now, I don't want to bring this particular person up per se, but I think this is a common issue that we as men, married men, especially businessmen, face. It's when you and your partner have had, let's just say, a checkered past, disagreement, arguments. Maybe there's been an infidelity or something's happened in the past and you've gotten over that and time has gone by and you've talked about it or done whatever it is, but you've moved on. But then she keeps bringing it up over and over again. Now, not repeated day to day, but it comes up in arguments or it comes up in feats of experienced depression on her end. And as a guy, we get frustrated, right? We're kind of like, hey, look, right? I talked to you about this, Tim. We agreed. We moved on. As men, we just don't need to talk about that again, right? It's like, hey, we had this conversation. It's over and done with. We're friends. Let's just move on. And it gets swept under the rug in a good, clean way. And then Tim and Doug just don't have a conversation about it. However, with our intimate partners, the women in our world, that doesn't seem to happen as much, Tim. What seems to happen is that guy has a conversation with the woman. It usually goes something like this. Hey, Tim, I'll pretend that I'm your partner here. Hey, Tim, we need to talk.
Come true for you.
Yeah. We need to sit down and talk about whatever happened, X, Y, Z. Then we sit down and talk about it. What that usually means, guys, is she's going to be talking to you about what she's upset about. And you guys have that conversation. You agree. You apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Right? Done deal in your eyes. But it comes up over and over again. And so it was happening for this man just recently who's so frustrated. And he's like, look, once again, this is happening with my wife. She's bringing up crap from the past. And it's old wounds. She's reopening and bringing them up. And I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of looking in the past, working from the past. Why can't she look at the future, look at the present, look at the future and move forward? So we had some interesting conversations around that, Tim, but I'm going to let you jump in here and share any thoughts that you have around either one, you and Amelia or previous relationships experiencing this or hearing it from the other guys.
Previous relationships, they were just an absolute nightmare. Yeah, I mean, for me, whenever this happens for me, it is often because I didn't address the actual issue in the beginning. In my experience, often it can be a case of whatever the complaint is about, that isn't really what it's about for the woman. Sometimes she doesn't really know. All she knows is that she's hurt, whether that hurt is coming up in anger or frustration, sadness, whatever, right? And now, because I understand a lot more than I did about what's really going on for her, I'm able to listen a lot better. But more importantly, and I think this is really important, is not listening to solve the problem as I used to do. And that's when, I think, oh, cool, done. Why are you bringing it up? We solved it. But really listening to connect with her and understand what's actually going on for her beneath all of the craziness I might be seeing in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, and so many guys experience this, right? I definitely experienced this, and it used to just piss me off. I would get angry, kind of like this guy did. And so what I told this guy is you got three options here, right? Option one, and I'll tell you what really is happening. But option one is you can go back and solve this issue, right? It's going to take some work and it's going to take probably a little pride swallowing maybe. Option two is you can tell her to screw off and you can leave, right? And option three is you can pretend like nothing happened, sweep it under the rug, do nothing, and hope it goes away. Now, option three is what the old Doug used to do, right? Let's just sweep it under the rug and hope it goes away. Now, in previous relationships, I would just leave the relationship because, that wasn't committed. But with my marriage, I would just sweep it under the rug, hope it goes away. And guess what? It doesn't. It doesn't. So in this particular sense, I had an idea and I reached out to my wife who coaches married women. And I asked her if we were on the right track here, so we give this guy the absolute best advice possible. And she confirmed exactly what you, Arthur, and I, who happened to be on this call, it's actually a voice exchange back and forth using an app, thought. And what she said, and what I told the guy ultimately, is the reason this keeps coming up is it is not resolved for her. She does not feel that the man, who are you listening to this, she does not feel heard or understood. She doesn't feel complete with the conversation. Now, she may sweep it under the rug. She may walk away. She may let it go for a second, but it's not done for her. And we all know a lot of these women have, it's a joke, women have memory like elephants, right? They're never going to forget this. The only way to close this loop, imagine a loop, a circle, if there's an opening there, she's going to keep coming back to get that closed, right? The only way to close this loop is to really validate her properly, right? We can use something like the hidden motives technique with some slight changes, right? But really validate her and make her feel extremely heard, extremely understood, and then also seen, right? She also wants to know that you see it from her point of view. She wants to know that you understand it at an emotional level, at her level, what it's gripping for her, how it's affecting her, right? And she also wants to know that you understand the gravity of the situation for her, that you fully understand it, because until she thinks or feels that you fully understand her side of this, right, she is not going to believe you that it won't happen again. She's just not, right? There's not going to be a connection there. And it's going to keep coming up over and over and over again because she's hurting inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really important, right? Because I'm just thinking about this guy in particular, and these are things for him that happened before he started working on himself, right? And so for him, he obviously can't understand it because for a lot of guys, hey, I'm doing all these great things now. Look at me now, right? Look at me now. And he's doing a great job. But like you said, there's a gap in that loop from the past. And without really speaking to him about this particular piece, I imagine as well, that's because in the past, of those three options, he probably did the third, right? And he might have even came in, walked him through the door with his problem-solving lens that serves him so well in business. And his wife is there being emotional, sharing with him something that she's hurt about. And he's there being logical. And okay, got you, right. Yep, sorry. There's a complete mismatch. And she, in that instance, more than likely would have got everything off her chest and really shared what she wanted to share, because more than likely in that moment, she didn't feel like he was there. But for him, he probably thought, oh, this is going well. Yeah, okay, cool. Until it's continuing to rear its head now. So, yeah, I think you raise a really great point. And the great thing for this guy is he's got an opportunity to change it, because some women, instead of bringing it up again, they may just choose to go quiet.
Yeah.
And we speak about the analogy of mud on the glass, right? And that, if they go quiet and they stop bringing this up, and you don't know that this is hurting them either, those resentments can really flick a lot of mud on that glass and create a lot of distance between people. So if you're in this position, guys, and I think it's a great time to be grateful that she's bringing this up, because what we'll share with you in a moment will give you a way to actually close that loop, make her feel very seen and heard, and at the same time, draw you guys closer together.
Yeah, it's absolutely it. So as guys, as men, we come in as problem solvers, especially as entrepreneurs and business owners, right? We get paid a lot of money and a lot of respect and admiration for going in, finding the problem and identifying the problem, and then more importantly, identifying an immediate, decisive solution. Boom, here's your problem. Okay, boom, here's how you solve it. All right, next. All right, we're putting out fires left and right. We have lines out our office doors, whether they be virtual or real, with people that want to meet with us. And all of these people are looking for answers from us, right? When somebody brings up a problem, they're looking for a solution. Now, this isn't the way women work. When a woman brings a problem to you, she's not looking for a solution. In fact, it's the worst thing you can give her. If you give her a solution, she is not going to feel heard or seen or understood, right? She is looking for somebody, for you to listen to her, to validate her, to understand her emotions. So I get to the point now, because I used to be in this situation, but now it's a lot different. So now my wife will bring a problem to me and I'll ask her, do you need me to solve this or just listen right now? And she'll melt. And she's like, just listen, please. I'll listen to her intently and go, oh, wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yep. I told you that bitch was crazy. Yep. Gotcha. And then I'll let it go. And then she'll melt into me. Right. And that can lead to some amazing sex. She doesn't need me to solve it. Inside, I'm dying because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is freaking easy to solve. All you have to do is da. But I bite my tongue, right? It's part of being a man, is being able to not do the things that you need to do, more so than the things you just want to do, just desire to do, right? There's certain things that you just get to do from a disciplinary standpoint. And this is one of them. It's a learned skill. And when you learn this skill, guys, it can serve you so well. Because I love solving problems. I absolutely enjoy it. And so when your woman comes to you with hurt and you're seeing it as a problem, right? It is, but the solution to that problem comes through the hidden motives technique, right? Which is a form of validation, which has got a lot of nuances into it. We've talked about it in previous podcasts. But for this situation, not only just this gentleman in particular, but for all of us guys out there, the key here is to really get to the bottom of that, right? So if Tim comes to, I'm not going to stop using it because it's hard to look at you on video and pretend that you're a woman. So if my wife comes to me and she brings up a problem from the past, right? Who knows? Let's just say it's me talking to an ex-girlfriend or something, right? Hey, she brings it up and she might bring it up in a kind of cutting way. Let's just say, I'm gonna say, oh, it's interesting. I didn't know that really hurt you. Right? Or that still hurts you. Tell me what about that really bothers you? So I'm going to start asking investigative questions to get to the bottom of it. And she might say, well, it just, you didn't tell me, et cetera, et cetera. As I keep asking her, right? So she says that, I'm going to say, okay, so you're really upset that I didn't share with you that I was talking to my ex-girlfriend. Is that what and she goes, oh, well, it's not that you're talking to her. It's just that, she's, she looks so thin and fit now. And, I just had a baby, so I'm out of shape. Oh, I totally get it, babe. Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know you look amazing and I love you. And now I can go into explaining. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're just not feeling as sexy as you normally do. Right. And now she can start saying yes or no. What I'm doing is I'm getting down to the root problem. Because guys, if you do not get down to the root problem, just like in business, you're going to cut that weed. But if you don't get to the root, guess what? Just like other weeds, it's going to sprout again and again and again and again. Somewhere else, maybe. It might come up some other place. But if I get to the root of it, using this example, right? My wife had a baby, a year and a half ago. Using this example, I could find out really what's going on. She's just not feeling sexy right now. It has nothing to do with the ex-girlfriend. Has nothing to do. It could be anything. It could be me eating ice cream. This could have got triggered. Now I get to make her feel sexy if I choose to, right? Now I get to solidify her confidence, right? Because you're not feeling sexy, it's confidence. Then I get to solve the problem, not outwardly, but I solve the problem by coming up with something different. I pull her in and let her know how much I love her and want her, right? Then I pick her up, take her to the bedroom. It's what we do. If you guys are in the 60 seconds on how to seduce your wife group that we put together, you get some ideas here. But this is the way you want to do it. And once you've done it, you can pull this weed out from the roots and not have to talk about it. Also, put it in the back of your mind, file it, whatever you have, your regular things, put it on, a project management software system to come back to you in a month, and remind yourself that your wife, right? And all women have this, by the way, guys, that your wife has some self-confidence issues and she needs you to reassure her that she's sexy. That's important to her, right? That's what I would pick up from that conversation as well. And I would remind myself, cool, I'm going to remind her that she's sexy in 2 days or tomorrow or what have you. I'm going to do it regularly and build up her confidence, because now that I pulled up that root, I'm eradicating it. It's like putting, Tim, I don't know if you've done any gardening in your new place, but it's like putting tarp down under the soil so weeds can't grow again, right? You're preventing those weeds from coming back, right? And now you're going to stoke that flame of sex, love, intimacy. And guys, your woman will melt. She will melt into you because now you have a weed-free garden, and then just roses bloom.
Yeah, well said. I love that about symptom versus root cause. It's very rarely about, the thing that's in front of them. Very rarely.
Yeah. And that's the hard thing, right? It's kind of like business, guys. You can be an operator in your business, and most business owners are, right? They're operators. They're out putting out fires. They need to be the guy. They're the one that's always on call, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They can't replace themselves. But when you're a business owner and you're in there and you're able to look at it from the 50,000 foot view and see what's really going on in your business, you can start making big decisions, and you can start realizing, lead quality isn't the issue. We got plenty of leads coming in. It's the sales guys aren't closing. Their closing ratio is bad. They need better sales training. They need better sales management or something along those lines. You can start looking at the root cause of the problem rather than just jumping to conclusions that it's lead quality in your business or whatever else it may be, fulfillment, et cetera. You want to get down to that root issue, and then make sure I would not leave that conversation until I was 100% sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that my wife felt seen, heard, and validated, right? And I would make sure, great, okay, anything else that's coming up for you? Because guess what, guys? It might be hard to get in there because I might have to swallow my pride, because internally I might be like, what the fuck are we doing here? This is ridiculous. We've covered this 8 times. The reason I go deep, though, is because I don't want there to be a 9th time. I don't want to go back to this conversation again, unless something else happens, right? But all things being equal, I want to keep this one in the bay and really build on our future. And that's where, and stay away from that rear view mirror view.
All things being equal, you want it to do it a 10th time, surely. Cut it off at the 10th.
Just to make sure we're nice round numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, as soon as I can identify that I'm in that pattern, and guys, I get in that pattern still, but as soon as I can identify I'm in that pattern, I want to cut it off right away. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth doing. No. You're really just procrastinating, and it's going to get worse. And what happens when you procrastinate and sweep it under the rug, not only is this going to hurt your wife internally, by the way, so she's going to be thinking about this nonstop all the time, talking to her girlfriends about it, et cetera, before she brings it up to you. So now your wife's hurting, but this is going to affect your bedroom, buddy. Like, this is going to affect your sex life, right? It's going to affect the frequency and the quality of your sex, because this is always going to be in the back of our mind. You pull that root, and now you can get some freaky deaky in the bedroom and have some fun.
Some freaky deaky. Never heard you use that word before. I thought you guys call it.
Nah. Tim, what are some parting words any parting words you want to give these guys?
Yeah, I think the other piece, guys, is just, I think something we've not touched on as much is the real importance of you remaining calm during this. It might catch you off guard. Maybe you walk in through the door and you greeted with it after a hard day. Just breathe. Take a moment and try your best to just look at what's really going on, because what you greeted with might be, like Doug said, all about the ex-girlfriend, but really it isn't. So just really keep you cool, be grounded, and just work through this. And you might fumble your way through it in the beginning. That's okay. Don't worry about that. I think the most important part is getting to the outcome of having her having her be seen, heard, and validated. And then setting those reminders, like you said as well. I think that's a really important piece. I think this really feeds into as well what we've spoken about before. Knowing what hats to wear, like the sign you have above your office door when you leave the office, it's playtime or whatever it says. Tap it on the way out. Whether you switch clothes, whatever you do, so that when you walk in through the house or walking through the door rather, or walk downstairs in my case, walk upstairs in your case, that you are in the right frame of mind and you're not walking into that situation either feeling rushed or stressed with a problem-solving lens, because you will end up going for an 8th time and a 9th time and a 10th time. Because it's very difficult to do this from the place that serves you so well in business. That's going to work against you here. Even if you don't end up saying or making suggestions to solve the problem, energetically, you could just not be there because you're thinking about work. So set yourself up for success with this, guys. And just, I'm looking for the episode where we spoke a little bit more about those roles. Can't find it there, but anyway, guys, set yourself up for success. And I love the topic, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, just remember this, by doing this, you're solidifying yourself as the benevolent alpha, the activated man, the leader of your family, right? The leader for your wife. And that's why this works, right? You're rising above the situation rather than coming down to the situation, just as you would if you were dealing with a child, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking down about your wife at all, but this is you taking that leadership approach. And when you're saying like, screw this, I don't want to deal with this, you're being a teenager, right? And that's not a powerful man. And so guys, I want you to have this. So if you have this conversation, you have it one time, then get into the bedroom, right? So that's the goal here, one time. Or if you decide not to get in the bedroom, at least have some connected, passionate intimacy, right? And have a harmonious home where you're treated like the king that you are. Gentlemen, that's a wrap for us at The Powerful Man Show. As always, go over to thepowerfulman.com/bonus, where you can get a free training and picking up. We are changing that in another week, it looks like, from now. So it'll be a totally different training up there. Really excited about getting a new one up there, Tim, as I know you are as well. And guys, if you haven't already, please leave a review. It's how other men like you find a show like this. And lastly, take action. If you got an insight in here, just take some massive action, please. It would mean a lot to me to see you guys get some benefits out of this. That's why Tim and I jump on here for you. All right, guys, have an amazing week. We'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.